See behind me those big black billowing smoke coming out of the Beit al-Futuh Mosque. Emergency services were called here at around 12 o'clock this afternoon. We've just had an update from...
Alright, we've got the fire service coming on the way.
Anywhere between 0 and 1 minute there can be a major fire.
And nobody has a fire in their street, and nobody thinks about having a fire in their street until the next door neighbour does have a fire in their street. Then it comes home.
There's a whole range of fires, but the majority of the time it's caused by candles, cooking or smoking. But it's just carelessness that causes them and creates them.
Don't get distracted while you're cooking. That is the biggest single problem we have with students.
Obviously, if you're coming home from drinking at night, had a lot of alcohol, don't start cooking. It's going to cause smoke, it could cause fire, don't do it.
We had one young lady who had been out on a night out, had either consumed far too much alcohol or taken something. She'd got back to her flat and decided that she wanted to cook whilst under the influence. She never actually made the finishing of her cooking because she had collapsed face down onto the carpet and was out, gone. We pulled her out of her flat by her legs and she knew nothing about it. What happens when somebody calls 999? That call goes through to a call handler. They then send the call to us. We have the sounding of alarms, what we call the bells. When we go downstairs, there's a printer. On that printer is all the details of the incident. Tells us which fire engine to take, tells us what type of incident it is. Right, Charlie 19, Papa 1, Danesgate House, automatic alarms. We dress in our personal protective equipment. We then get onto the fire engine and we turn the fire engine out. All of that takes approximately 1 minute. That could be 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. 1 minute turnout time.
When we get called out to a fire and we know that we're going to be the team that's when the breather apparatus going into the fire, you're geared up, you're focusing and getting ready for the dangers you're going to be faced with. We train and train and train for those dangers because the temperatures can get up to 1,000 degrees. Luckily, in this day and age, house fires are very few and far between. Our main call-outs would be to road traffic accidents.
On the shelves, we have these which are called step chocks. These are used for stabilising vehicles. We have police accident signs and blue flashing lights. We have what some people refer to as the jaws of life. We just call it our cutting gear. We have a dedicated cutter and we have a dedicated spreader. Also, we have a ram. This is a hydraulic ram that works in conjunction with the cutters and the spreaders. If we come to a road traffic accident and there's a person injured within it, no fire, it's then medical. So it's then the doctors. We're listening to the doctors, the paramedics, the ambulance service. I will probably still, by proxy from them, be looking after it all because they're dealing here. But what they say goes. No, I don't need you to do that. I need you to get him. So we then do a plan for that. There's nobody injured, there's no fire, but there's a vehicle that's causing us a problem in the highway. That's now the police. So they then look after it. They looking after everything, but I might still be doing this bit for them. We may find you'll go to some instances, nobody's trapped, there's no fire, but the highway is blocked or the highway is compromised, yet the police need us to help them to deal with it because they've got their hands full maybe stopping traffic, trying to divert traffic, and we might be looking after what is actually here, making this safe and trying to clear that part of the highway for and in conjunction with the police.
Our specialisations include animal rescue, rope rescue and swift water rescue. So swift water rescue, we could end up anywhere in England.
What we first and foremost need to do is we need to spot the casualty. We need to find out where he is. We need somebody on the boat to make a physical connection with his arm towards the casualty. So we'll have an arm out. we try and make some form of contact with the casualty, so we shout to him. We're going to shout to him, we're going to let him know we're coming. When we get close to the casualty, within about 5 metres, we want to slow the boat right down. Once you've physically got hold of the casualty and you've made a contact with the casualty, the engine's killed, unless in certain circumstances where you must have the engine running like fast flowing water. We will then take hold of the casualty and we will pull the casualty into the boat using his own buoyancy. So we may push him down a little bit, use his buoyancy as he's coming back up and pull him back and into the boat.
So from a fire prevention point of view, close your doors. If you close all doors within your property and you have a fire, at least there's a chance that it might burn out because of the lack of oxygen. But those, even the flimsy doors within your property will stop fire up to 15-20 minutes.
We have fire doors. A fire door in itself is designed to withstand fire and smoke for a certain amount of time. Minimum is 30 minutes. If you put a chock under your door and chock that door open, if you have a fire, the products of the fire and the fire itself can spread from out of that area and further into the flat.
There was a particular fire in Grantham where the fire was in the living room. The lady had left her clothes drying next to a fire. Eventually, that was a raging fire within her living room, but because she had closed the door and limited the oxygen supply to that fire, then the fire burnt itself out whilst they slept upstairs without any smoke alarms. In the morning, they just opened the door and the whole living room was gone. It was burnt to a cinder. The TV was like cheese, it had melted away, but the fire was out because there was no oxygen.
Know where your keys are. I suggest to keep your key in the lock of the door. Some people will say, well, a burglar can then break the glass and unlock your door. If he's willing to break the glass, he'll break any glass.
We've had people die in house fires in the past where they've come downstairs, there's a lot of smoke around, they're disorientated because it's dark and smoky. They went to the front door and they thought, oh, where's the keys? The keys are upstairs. By that time, they're coughing, they're choking on the smoke, they're drowning in that smoke.
And basically, it is your smoke alarm. That is your lifesaver. That is your the one machine in your home that will save your life from a fire.
Take alarms seriously because you just don't know.
Is going back to not attempting to do cooking when you're drunk. Don't do cooking when you're drunk. Don't light candles when you're drunk, because it's only going to end up in an accident.